Spotlight series with SMBConnect. Today we have Mrs. Meghna Mittal, which she's the founder and CRO of Hoopr.ai. Welcome, Meghna.
Thank you so much, Radhika. Happy to
So,
be here.
yeah. So I just want to start, how did Hoopr.ai, what gap in the music industry does it aim to fill?
So, Hooper, as of now, it stands today to be the leading music licensing marketplace, right? We are catering to content creators, brands, digital platforms, agencies, whoever is creating any kind of content, right? They're looking
Right.
for music and they're looking to license music, copyright safe music.
Mhm.
And that's what we are offering. We are the leading player in the industry today to be providing these copyright safe tracks to a lot of brands. We've got brands like Myntra, Marico, 2Yum, a lot of the larger entities using our tracks on a day-to-day basis in their vlogs, videos, advertisements, and so on and so forth, right? So uh, the beginning of Hooper actually happened because we were working in the industry for a very long period of time and working with different stakeholders like your brands, influencers. We realized that there was a gap wherein the simple gap of actually procuring the license of a music, right?
Right.
And in fact, it came about with one of the campaigns that we were only executing as Songfest, which is our other brand which creates niche content based campaigns with brands.
Right.
We were working with an influencer and she ended up getting a copyright claim on the video that she featured in, right?
Right.
And that's
Right.
when we realized that the problem is actually expanded to a lot of other content creators. There are millions of content creators who are on a day-to-day basis getting copyright strikes or claims on YouTube, on Instagram, on other social media platforms, right? And at the same time, brands are also struggling to use, music
Mhm.
because on one end they don't even have any place to go to for licensing the trending tracks, and on the other hand, they also don't have any native libraries that are relevant for their target audiences, right? So
Right.
there are these international platforms, of course, available in the
Mhm.
music licensing space, but no other platform provides Indian music, right? And Indian music today is much, much more than just, your basic tabla and sitar. There are so many genres, that we speak of. And now, in fact, with the kind of hip hop and rap tracks that are coming up, they are, trending global charts also, right? So I think Indian music and the regionality and the diversity that we need that a brand requires actually that they can only find today on Hooper itself, right? So
Right.
we identified that there was a great need and there was a gap in the industry where copyright safe music, especially in the Indian context, was not there. And
Mhm.
that's how Hooper sort of came about, and we built the entire platform, loaded it with more than 12,000 tracks are available today on Hooper. And as I mentioned, some of the largest brands in India and agencies are currently using Hooper, along with content creators like, Chef Ranveer Brar,
Mhm.
actor Ashish Vidyarthi,
Right.
a lot of these travel influencers. There are so many categories: travel, food, fashion. So all kinds of influencers and content creators today require music. So
Right.
yes, that's where we are.
Yeah, so copyright in music has always been a hot topic. अगर हम कोई अभी का गाना उठा के देखते हैं, so वो कहीं ना कहीं पुराने जमाने के कहीं ना कहीं ट्यूनिंग या तो सेम होएगी या फिर कुछ ना कुछ उसमें सेम होता है. So how does Hooper navigate the complexities of music licensing and copyright issues?
I think on one level, first of all, the Indian audiences need to understand that music and the copyrights, right, associated with it, is a serious subject, right? A
Right.
lot of folks on a lot of creators, a lot of brands also, in fact,
Mhm.
think that, music is a free entity, right?
Right. Right.
We got the copyright here, right? And
Exactly.
they need to be paid for it. So here, what we are doing is on one level, we have this super native library, right? Wherein we have these tracks which are made by artists, right? And there is, of course, that copyright associated with it. So whenever we are licensing any tracks from Hooper platform, you will see that the artist name is mentioned, right? So they are
Right.
credited for the same, right? And when the brand is actually licensing it, all the whatever the revenues that come in, we are already paying these artists also to get a lot of the content on board, right?
Mm-hmm.
So in general, to answer your question, there has been a debate, on the copyright issues. So there are more technology-driven tools also that are now identifying if this XYZ track is plagiarized or not, right?
Right.
And we are making sure that whatever we are providing on Hooper is authentic music, is original music, and
Mm-hmm.
it goes through multiple checks of plagiarism also, and making sure that these are completely, safe to be licensed by any of these brands or creators.
Right. How do you see AI transforming the music industry, especially in content creation and distribution?
Um, so AI, of course, as you know, that it has made great advancements, and in all the other art forms, and music is not left behind. Of course, it's catching up. Although it's a difficult area to be implementing a lot of generative AI,
Right.
technology, and people have made a lot more, progress. There are big players who have made great progress in this area, and I feel that soon enough it will help create more, AI is going to be making you more efficient in creating that
Right.
content better. Say
Mhm.
that applies to music as well, right? A lot of artists, in fact, we believe will be able to, utilize and make use of AI in the future. And because right now a lot of the debate is on the copyright issues of which kind of data it is being trained on.
Right.
Having said that, I think that is also something that people will soon going to be figuring it out. And once the technology is powerful enough, I think a lot of the creators, the artists, will be able to use it to make much faster music and much better music too.
Right.
Having said that, we do also believe that it's not a zero sum game where it's going to be replacing
Mm-hmm.
original artists on anything. I think
Mm-hmm.
it's going to just make their workflows more efficient. In fact, some of the DAWs that they are using, a lot of the AI tools are actually helping them create better music, right?
Right.
Um, it will also help in better recommendation at the end of the day, right? What kind of music that is performing better with what kind of videos, etc. So
Right.
particularly in our workflow, right, we believe that AI will be able to help us solve a lot of recommendation problem with the kind of categories that we are serving, whether it's content creators in different sectors to brands in different sectors, right? It'll make it more easier if AI is able to recommend what kind of music a particular category of brand should use in a particular category of videos, right?
Mhm.
So I think from where we are, we strongly believe that a lot of the data even we are collecting and moving to train on is to make sure that we are able to provide faster and better results also for our content creators and brands who are coming to license the music from our platform, right?
Right.
That's, I think, where we are. And in terms of distribution, of course, there are so many aggregators right now which are available, which are currently also they have made the process very easy for distribution of music.
Mm-hmm.
I
Mm-hmm.
think going forward, even there, some sort of analytics would actually help artists make a better decision and, be able to take the right kind of decision while they are making their content, right?
Right.
So I think distribution platforms could actually help artists in getting the right kind of analytics as to what kind of content they should create.
Mm-hmm. Understood. It was a very descriptive answer, and I think my users will be very benefited from this. What do you think the future holds for music licensing platforms in terms of innovation and growth?
I think there's immense growth because on a day-to-day basis, if you see, uh, due to, you can call it that they are not aware of it,
Mm-hmm.
but brands, creators, that there is so much of vigilance that's coming in from all the social media platforms, right?
Right.
And the fact that it is just going to grow from here is because, see, India में, खाना पीना और content कभी नहीं
Right.
मर सकता, right?
Exactly.
So entertainment
Exactly.
is like the air and water for us. So I think whatever at a reel level to almost like a 500 crore movie level, everybody in between, whether it's your ad films or your web shows or your podcast, everything requires music at the end of the day, right? So
Right,
music licensing is just going to grow from here because in internationally, if you see, this market is a much more organized market. In India, especially the music industry has been typically like a walled operating like a walled garden, and
right,
we don't have a lot of transparency and openness, right? And that's also because there are not many technology players, right? Apart from all the audio streaming platforms and the distribution platforms that are there. I
right.
think there is a fundamental difference between when you say you want to listen to music and
Mhm.
you want to use music, right?
Right, right,
So when you're listening to music on audio streaming platform, that does not give you the right to actually use that particular music piece in any of your creatives,
right.
right? Like आज
Definitely.
आप ये podcast बना रहे हो, right? So
Hmm.
tomorrow, if you're listening to a trending song, that actually doesn't give you the right to actually use it in this
Use it.
podcast, right?
Exactly.
Because
Exactly.
then you are exploiting that particular art
Mhm.
form for your benefit or for
Benefit.
your
Right.
sort of creative videos, right? So
Yeah.
I think that's what we fundamentally see, shifting on a sort of having a mind shift, and getting more education, imparted in through the music licensing forums, and educating through the platform itself, through a lot of content that even we are creating on our social media platforms, right?
Mhm.
I think music licensing from here is going to grow, and it will become more structured, and it will actually get a lot more structure in this music industry.
Right, right. So, how do you ensure that the music generated on your platform maintains its uniqueness and artistic integrity?
So, as I said, so currently we don't have music that's AI generated, because for a generation of music also you require, certain data set to be able to
Mm-hmm.
actually train your models. Having said that, we also believe that there is a certain personality and authenticity when the tracks are being created by an artist, and we already have a community of more than 3,000 artists who are associated with us, and we keep taking their tracks and providing that opportunity to be able to integrate with brands, with creators, as I mentioned. um we make sure that integrity in that sense is maintained towards the artist, because one, they are fairly compensated for all the
Mm-hmm.
tracks that they are contributing to, whether it's production, background scores, production music, or even songs. We actually help some of the artists distribute these songs and actually promote them on YouTube, or
Mm-hmm.
launch these songs also as Hooper originals, right?
Mm-hmm.
So from that perspective, I think we are making sure that there is fair compensation that is being given, and the credits that are being given to the artists.
Completely understood. I think it's a very unique way of putting out the things there. So, like now, let me, just turn my questions towards the women entrepreneur part, because as a women entrepreneur in the tech and music space, specifically, what challenges have you faced and how did you overcome them?
um So see, it's been about, over 10 years now that I've been working in the tech space. I've worked with platforms before also, and now with Hooper, uh, if you have a great tech team, I don't think there's a great technology challenge per se,
Right.
But yes, as a women entrepreneur, you do want to keep yourself updated, not just as women entrepreneur, as in, I
Women.
think it's
Right.
general, generic for all the entrepreneurs, agnostic of the gender that you belong to. But I feel that there's just a little bit more efforts that you have to put in,
Mm-hmm.
because I'm a woman entrepreneur, but more than that, I'm a mother entrepreneur, right? So
Right.
now I believe that
Mompreneur,
I
like
have two
it's
kids,
famously said.
right? So yes, so one is Hooper, and of course, the other one is my baby at home. But
Yeah.
I think it's just a little bit of additional effort that you have to, put in to
Mm-hmm.
stay relevant, to be, at the top of your game. Apart
Right,
from that, I don't see particularly any challenge from an industry perspective, because media and entertainment industry as such has been quite welcoming of women from the
right,
beginning, right?
right,
So these are some of the creative fields that women have actually excelled in, right? So I would say that it's a very good integration of creative space and technology, and I think I've thoroughly enjoyed the last 5 years of my journey in this space.
right. So now, on the flip side, as you mentioned that, the music and entertainment industry has always been welcoming for women. So what are the
Yeah.
advantages do you think that women brings to the table in this industry? I'll specifically mention the music industry.
Sure. I think, again, as I mentioned, it's a creative space, right? And the industry brings in a very unique perspective to, you know, it has enough empathy, it has collaboration, a good sense of community is there overall in the media and entertainment industry. And I think being a woman, it's just that you have to you are, I think, inherently creative. So at least in my case, I can say that easily that, we are great at creative stuff. We are great at multitasking a lot of these things. We are great at actually understanding the problems, right?
Mm-hmm,
So
mm-hmm.
I think whenever it comes to product building, understanding what your customer requires becomes the basis of it. And when it comes to being a woman, I think it's just that we empathize, we, are able to understand and appreciate the problem, and then thereby providing a solution to it becomes much more concrete and much more detailed and much more from a
Right,
space of actually a good concern, right? So,
right.
and whenever there is a product that actually solving those kind of problems at a base level, at a ground level, I think they perform good, they
Mm-hmm.
perform well.
Right, completely understood. So, what are some of the brands which you have collaborated with? Some of the famous brands.
As I mentioned in the beginning of this call, also, we do have, from the e-commerce space, Myntra, we do have two of the IPL teams, Rajasthan
Mm-hmm,
Royals,
mm-hmm.
by Indians. We have ZTV as one of our esteemed clients, right? And we have a lot many more brands who we have worked with in the past, whether it is Flipkart to, Cadbury, Nestle, Pocket FM. So
Right,
with music, we have been able to work with them either on a subscription basis, or from a Hooper perspective, or from a brand solutions perspective, where they
right.
want to do something more and beyond just licensing and music, content based music campaigns. So we've been able to work with a lot of these clients.
So how do you deal with the creative block if you get any?
I think the best way is to unwind. I think I like to actually structure the things in a way where even if there is a creative block, I'm sure a logical, understanding, or a logical sort of bifurcation helps me, right? So I always break down the problems into different parts and
Right.
just try and focus on solving that particular task, right? So
Mhm.
if I have a creative block, of course you speak to different people. We have a great team in house,
Right.
working with us, so we do take their help in case there is any sort of such block on the ideation front, on the technical aspects of it also. So I think one
Right.
is through collaboration, speaking to a lot of industry folks also, by the way,
Hmm.
right? That just gets you to think about it more and get out of that block, and ultimately just unwind and take a step back, and then
Right.
look at things again.
Yeah. So what's your vision for Hooper in the next 5 years? Where do you see Hooper in the next 5 years?
So we want to, in the next 5 years, of course, capture the entire Indian market, and then take the Indian music licensing space to a global, platform.
Mhm.
We want to expand our library, of course, incorporating a lot of diverse, regional music, right? So
Mhm.
currently, like, we have started with Hindi music to cater to the HSM market. There are nine other different languages that we have on the platform today, and we want to cover the whole of India, right? So in the next 5 years, we want to, of course, cover out the Indian aspects of it and then go global to serve the, nearby markets, the neighboring markets, and then go global further to cater to the Western world as well, right?
Right. So lastly, towards the end, I would like your advice to the for the women looking to break into the music industry, specifically music tech industry, right?
Sure, sure, sure. I think while there are a lot of challenges in this industry of, because we are almost bringing a revolution in terms of, building something which has a tech base in India. Of course, as I said, there were audio streaming platforms, but it's been a while that there has not been much technology that has entered in the music space, right, in India
Right.
particularly. So we feel that um, while there are challenges, again, if you want to be a part of this industry, have a very detailed and thorough knowledge of where we are coming from, right? So,
Right.
what the history has been, how the music industry has been working so far, right? There are so many, ways that the industry is sort of seeded in and how they've been working. And
Mm-hmm.
you need to appreciate that also to be able to bring in a new change, right? Or bringing
Right.
in any kind of change, right?
Yeah.
So, I think it's challenging yet extremely exciting because wherever you are sort of bringing about any kind of change, it's not so, it might not be welcoming in the beginning, but I think people will start adopting to it if you are actually building more opportunities for every
Mm-hmm.
stakeholder in
Every
this industry.
right.
So let's not think of it that, okay, I want to come here and I want to compete with these, larger folks. It's rather you need to collaborate with them. It's rather you need to bring in more opportunity for them,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Understood.
So whatever you're building, you're able to at least contribute to their success also and your success
Mm-hmm.
ultimately. So I
Yeah.
think it should be a collaborative effort. And if you are wanting to become a part of this industry, then think very deeply and carefully about all the stakeholders instead of, creating a competition,
Mm-hmm.
create like collaboration and thereby,
Right.
success for everybody.
Right.
Yes,
Thank you so much, Meghna, for joining us today. It was a pleasure to have you, and I hope all the women entrepreneurs and entrepreneurs in general out there will have a greater knowledge of how to start a business. And also, I wish all the very best to Hooper AI for its future endeavors.
thank you so much, Radhika. It was a fun session. Thank you for inviting me, and I'm looking forward to more of your, SMB Connect sessions.
Yeah. Thank you.